Engineering program. Last year we started surveying the students and they started saying, yeah, we'd like that. We started to build the curriculum for it. We opened it up to registration. We're expecting a few responses. And out of the 300 students that were eligible, 90 students signed up for our engineering program. So definitely an interest, and we're feeling a need for that. The other program is the program I'm here to talk about, as well as an engineering program. But I'm here because I need to get a little bit of a thermometer read on if we're doing it and we're on the right track with it. So I have 3 questions for you guys. And are the program's objectives attainable within Albuquerque startup community? In terms of engaging with the startup community, what are we missing? And then finally, how would you be willing to participate in these programs? So just a quick history on Sandia Prep. It started off as a girls' school way back in the 1930s. In 1966, it went co-ed, and we've been at the same location since 1966. Last year we celebrated, or a couple years ago we celebrated our 50th anniversary. We have a very strong, rigorous academic program, 100% graduation rate, great faculty, great students, but it's time to think outside of that box of traditional curriculum. So we get to do that, and this is what we're doing it. Our 3 objectives in developing these programs that I'm here to talk about quickly are to facilitate life-changing learning experiences. We want our kids to master skills, these particular skills that deal with design engineering and with entrepreneurial mindset skills. We want to involve our students in the entrepreneurial education as a vehicle to transform students. And we want to create a sense of purpose and opportunity for our students to stay in the local community. So my observation of our students is 100% graduation rate. And then if you look down the list, about 50% of the students end up leaving the state. And so I go to our administrations and I'm like, we create our own brain drain. We create these great students with a great background, strong academic background, and then they leave. So how do we get them to stay? And so I feel that this is one way to have them consider to stay and have them, give them a heads up and an opportunity to do something. So this year we are initializing, like I said earlier, our engineering program. And we worked with the UNM School of Engineering. A couple of their deans worked as advisors for us. We worked on building the curriculum, and it includes our courses start in the middle school. Now our 6th and 7th grade class is going to be launched next year. We want to give that a little more time to develop. Starting in 8th grade, students can start taking engineering and computing. And it combines both the computer sciences and engineering. So students can do the hardware side and they can do the software side, or they can do both. We're also working on, well, we have it already set up, where they're doing a dual credit with CNM, and we're really trying to work with the Innovation Academy at UNM to have our students kind of dovetail right into that program if they want to do it. Right there. Now, our capstone program that we're still developing is present a problem to them. The teams work for 3 weeks on developing presentations that have solutions, and then they make those presentations to the startup. So they're actually making and working on authentic problems and presenting to authentic audiences. One of the focuses would be process over product, focusing on startups that involve STEM, and more importantly, we want to de-school our students. And what I mean by that is that school is all about not failing, right? You can't fail. But what we want to teach students is that failure is okay. That failing is necessary to learn and to move ahead. So that would be a good focus for our program too. We've been working with the Innovation Academy over at UNM, and we really want to get a presence here at Innovate ABQ at some point. So we really want to have our students get out of the classroom and into the startup community. We want students to come and say, Mr. DeLeon, I have a meeting with so-and-so to talk about some research or to collect some data, or to talk about marketing, and we need to meet downtown, we need to meet at their place of work, and that's my day. That's the student's day. We're excited about this because we really want to give students more opportunities than what we already offer, which is good, strong, traditional curriculum. And based on the response of our engineering program, we feel that our capstone program is going to do just as well. In fact, what we want to do is use our engineering students to kind of feed into the capstone. And what we want to do with our engineering students is have people from the startup community with ties in engineering to come and serve as mentors, as advisors, as counselors, as people who may want to come in and do a mini lesson. So we have somebody from a startup company who would come in and say, you know, I'm going to do a lesson for 2 days on whatever topic it is that students need to discuss. And so we really want to have the authentic teaching and not so much the academic side. We want students to really connect with actual engineers and with actual entrepreneurs. So back to the questions. Are these programs' objectives attainable? What are we missing? And how do we get you guys engaged to participate? So I'll start with those three.
Yeah! Good morning, everybody. My name is Raul, as I already said. And yes, my idea is Parents College. It's developing right now. And, well, I'm going to continue. I have my kids here. I have my kids there. I have my parents there, too, which have been in this since the beginning. But let me tell you what is it about. Well, Parents College came from me being raised and educated in a third world country and then coming back to this first world country where I started teaching, right? So I started comparing. It's kind of unavoidable for me to just compare and contrast everything. So I started comparing the things, how the system works here and the system works there, and found some things, right? As I said, I come from Mexico. I've been teaching for 4 years, and I have 3 kids, and I'm a big fan of technology. But these are the things that I found that I cannot stop thinking about, right? At the end, when you compare both systems, they're pretty much the same, right? They have a one teacher to many students model, right? And we're in the 2017 right now. Technology is there, but it's either not fully adopted or not fully available, or it's either not appropriately used, right? And the thing that strikes me the most is that there's no real education without family, right? So family should be the first source of education for everybody, and in this system, we're living this. And think of this in terms of time. The family time is very little because we spend very little time as families. We spend a lot of time helping our kids with homework, sports fundraising and events, going to our churches, catechism, or whatever your religion is. You spend a lot of time pleasing these institutions, right? And very few time spending quality time with your kids as your sons and daughters, right? You treat them as students, as athletes, or as disciples, right? But not as your own kids, because you don't have time. And that's what I want to change. Our education model is, okay, you're going to have a lot of time with your family, and then you're going to use these institutions to support you, and not likewise. How do we do this? It's kind of hard, right? But I have some ideas. Let's take it step by step. Let's talk about academics, right? I talk about the one t-shirt to many students model. And what we use or what we suggest the parents to do is to get to learn these resources. Is any of you familiar with any of this? Yeah, right? So Khan Academy has content in everything. Math is what we use it for mostly, and it's really amazing. Duolingo is for language learning. Code Academy, code.org. You see where I'm going to, right? Like the IT industry has developed these fabulous resources, and they just work graciously. So kids in a short period of time can actually get really familiar with JavaScript, PHP, HTML, CSS, right? And YouTube, like if you develop these self-learning habits, you can learn anything from YouTube. There's tutorials for every single thing. So we replace teacher lecturing with these resources. We train the parents and the kids how to use these resources, and then they go on their own, right? Self-paced, friendly, and everything. So I'll go back to the slide. Let's go to the physical well-being aspect, right? And in a society that overstress competition, right? And that offers a lot of YouTube tutorials on how to do a lot of squats and pull-ups and calisthenics and all that stuff. We have a different approach, and it's always to have fun. It's really hard for me to be counting 100 sit-ups or pull-ups or whatever, or even 10. But I mean, to play half an hour tag or that goose, kickball, or any of that stuff goes just like this. And you're burning calories, you're having fun, you're building teamwork skills. There's a lot of inherent benefits of doing this kind of physical activity, right? Now going back to that slide, the last one is the spiritual, right? You take care of it going to your Catholic church, your synagogue, your hall, whatever. And I don't have a suggestion for that. That's the parents taking care of fully, because I cannot tell you what to follow in this sense, right? I just wanted to mention it because it's one of the things that we spend a lot of time in. And, but yeah, under that format, like if a parent wants to pray before having lunch, dinner, or maybe meditate while the sun is right there or something, I mean, they're free to do it. And I don't mess with it at all, right? I don't suggest anything. We just let them be. And the parents, well, the parents are everywhere in this. We encourage the parents to role model every single thing of this, right? So if you want your kid to be educated, you need to get educated. If you want your kid to be active, you're not gonna sit in front of your phone. If you want your kid to be healthy, you need to do that. If you want your kid to set goals, same thing, right? All of these, the parents are being trained to adopt these habits and role model them for their kids. So the kids follow that example. So with those resources, we're taking care of the academics. With the fun approach, we take care of the physical well-being. And once the parents are trained, they will, my objective is for them to get comfortable enough to share their own skill set with their kids, or the kids participate in the program. Maybe my daughter's not interested in what I have to say, but maybe she would be interested in something that other adult is doing, right? Maybe playing music, maybe drawing, maybe something that I don't have it in my skill set. And by self-learning all the time, they will develop that confidence to share that knowledge with the other kids, right? Or even adults. The important thing of this is that we build community, as it says right there, and it provides us with that spontaneous experience, right? Oh, I want to do this, I can teach you this, I can help you with this, I need help with this, all of that. A lot of people in Albuquerque are already doing homeschooling because they're really disappointed on the system. But they're by themselves at home, right? So the difference between doing homeschooling on your own and trying to adopt all these habits, right, is that it makes you to be more committed. It makes you to put some skin on the idea, I guess. And and you get to collaborate more, find those opportunities more often. You get to hold yourself accountable because whatever commitment you make it in front of everybody instead of just with you in the mirror. And the more the merrier, right? We can have more fun when the kids and the adults are playing together any of those games that could be intergenerational. Okay, I have piloted this during 2 summer programs, right? It was held on the South Valley at South Valley Academy, and it was on 2016 for 4 weeks, this past June on 3 weeks. And they provided us with a lot of great feedback. Part of that feedback is that there wasn't enough time for everything that we did, and they wanted longer hours. Our format was 4.5 hours, and we did some organic gardening, some of that Khan Academy code thing. We did some of, our lunch was an hour long because we encouraged conversations, and our sections to play were 45 minutes. We also did some indoor games like board games, card games, all that stuff. And it was just amazing. So people was really happy to participate in this program. It's hard to attract adults, but even though we had to develop groups of around 20 participants each time. Right now, I am going to collaborate with one nonprofit in the South Valley to do an after-school program, and probably I'm going to get another 2. In those programs, it's going to be hard to get adults participating, which is my ultimate goal, but the technology resources have a lot of value on their own. So I want to start with that, and hopefully we can welcome parents to those. If once they're successful, we can attract more people and more adults, right? My approach is that if you're in your 30s, 40s, or even your 50s, you can still switch careers to the coding entrepreneurship, right? Or coding field. There's a lot of internships and apprenticeships around town. And if we link those parents that are currently working construction, retail, or maybe not very successful at their own businesses, we can help both cohorts at the same time. Like the kids learn a lot of stuff, and the adults can learn some stuff that they can immediately put into practice. I think this is the last question, but I'm gonna just break it in right there, so when that question comes, I can answer it with this. So, I know it's a concept that's kind of hard to grasp, and if you guys have any questions right now, it's the time for you to ask them.
Yeah! And also, just a reminder, so if you're going to ask